my yearly routine checkup, and I did. After the mammogram, I was called back because the radiologist said he wasn't understanding something. And, you know, I felt, what is this thing that this person is not understanding? Of course, you know where the human mind will go to. Then I went back, and I'm trying to cut the story short. And I was called aside and told, sorry, you don't need to repeat the mammogram again, this and that. You already have cancer. Unfortunately, you're on stage 3, this and that. And I said, how? I have been going for checkups. How could it be? You know how one will feel when you get that kind of message. So I cried. I did everything I could. The following day, I was to go to see the surgeon. And when I got to see the surgeon, he said, okay, madam, lie down, let me check you again. And when he did, he was able to get the lump physically this time. All the while, since how many years ago, they were unable to trace, to hold, or touch this lump. But thank God that day he saw it, and he said, look, we have to send you in for surgery immediately. And I didn't know I was going to go in for surgery. I went in for surgery that day, and the lump was taken out. And all the while, my scans and mammograms told me that there was just one lump there. But when I was opened up, 2 lumps were seen at the same spot. And the lumps were taken for histology, and they came back. It was a 1 week of uncertainty, 1 week of so much anxiety, 1 week of cries, 1 week of everything upside down. But to the glory of God, when the result came out, it was negative. Why am I saying this? You can be a perpetrator of violence against yourself. Go for your routine checkup. If I had not done that, I would have committed violence against myself. That is me, Rosemary Igboy, talking. Now, the person that is going to speak to you is the Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission. Thank you. I am delighted to be part of this remarkable event of the commemoration of the 2022 16 Days of Activism on Elimination of Gender-Based Violence in Nigeria, with the theme, Unite Activism to End Violence Against Women and Girls. Violence against women and girls, whether physical, sexual, emotional, or economics, appears to be increasing, notwithstanding concerted efforts at ensuring that laws and policies are put in place for their protection. Women and girls experience various forms of violence, notwithstanding the provision of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, pledging to protect, promote, and enforce the rights of all, including women and girls, the passage of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, and the fact that Nigeria is party to the international human rights treaties, including, but not limited to CEDAW, the Maputo Protocol for the protection of the rights of women in Africa. Some forms of violence experienced by women and girls include rape, domestic violence, forced and early marriage, denial of marriage inheritance, physical and sexual assault, and female genital mutilation, denial of family inheritance, harmful widowhood practices, etc., among other human rights violations and abuses. GBV are gross violations of the right to dignity, right to life, right to sexuality, and other rights guaranteed by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and all other regional and international human rights instruments. The National Human Rights Commission, which is a federal government agency, has taken the bull by the horns through sustained campaigns and demand for accountability from various stakeholders. Women and children's rights form a very critical component of the Commission's thematic focus, hence the unbundling of its previously existing structure and creating the Department of Women and Children, as well as a thematic team on women in order to pay specific attention to predominantly existing and emerging rights violations affecting women in the home, workplaces, hospitals, humanitarian situations, etc. As at August 2022, a total of 1,378,180 complaints were received by the Commission's offices throughout the country across 14 thematic areas of focus. Out of the above figures, complaints on women, children, and other gender issues stood at 248,960 cases, made up of 125,500 cases on strict SGBV, rape, sexual violence, and other domestic violence issues, and 120,960 gender-based discrimination, harmful cultural practices, forceful marriage, sexual and reproductive rights, denial of access to children, denial of inheritance, abandonment of women, women trafficking, child marriage, and child sexual abuse. Let me also use this opportunity to intimate you of some of the key intervention activities by the Commission aimed at halting the tide of SGBV pandemic in the country. 1. Launch of Unsub platform. 2. Establishment of automated call center with a toll-free line. 3. Presidential panel of investigation on sexual and gender-based violence. 4. Development of a manual or integrated female genital mutilation indicators into the reporting mechanism for human rights monitors to capture data on FGM and also improve quality report. 5. Hosting of TV program on the state of human rights /SGBV, training and retraining of staff on Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, VAP, and other related laws and policies of SGBV. 6. Training of Abuja Environmental Protection Board on SGBV. 7. Awareness on creation on SGBV and sensitization of the public through electronic flyers and adverts on various social media handles of the Commission. 7. Communication training for the gender and communication units on communication strategy development, particularly on SGBV. 9. Development of training materials and conducting trainings for responders, police, NAPTIP, and staff of the Commission on protection of SGBV victims. 10. Meetings and periodical high-level dialogues, virtual and physical, on COVID-influenced SGBV. 10. Membership of Interministerial Management Committee on SGBV. 11. Devotion of 16 days of activism 2020 on awareness in 36 states on rape and SGBV. In order to sustainably hear out survivors of GBV and provide effective response, certain steps and strategies must be put in place. I would therefore conclude with a few recommendations. 1. There is need for general system strengthening and improved coordination among service providers in the area of SGBV and other types of violence against women and girls. 2. Women and girls in situations of violence need to be empowered with information and assistance to be able to maneuver the police, judicial, and social service systems in order to access the critical protection and support provided by these institutions, e.g., protection orders of court, access to housing, access to health, access to education, financial and family resources. 3, there is need to ensure that law enforcement officials, judicial officers, health, education, and social service providers are trained and empowered to recognize violence against women as a critical human rights issue, understand the obligations and techniques of handling the issues, while there is designation of roles and appropriate referrals and responses are established and institutionalized. 4, there is need to extend the scope of humanitarian protection intervention beyond the Northeast to women and girls in other parts of the country. In conclusion, I wish to most profoundly appreciate the National Council for Women's Societies, Nigeria, and our other government partners, non-government organizations, and civil society groups. Without your highly productive partnership, we cannot do much. On behalf of the management and staff of the National Human Rights Commission, I welcome you to this event and wish us all a fruitful deliberation. Thank you very much.
Run through the goodwill messages because they are much. And please, let's restrict to 2 minutes at most. I'll now call on the NOA. Are they here?
Thank you.